So, I've been a lover of fountain pens for many, many years. I have used fountain pens ever since I was a child. Got my first pen when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and it kind of started from there. Never really stopped, and I still love them, and I still use them every day. And so, in this video, I'm going to talk about Montblanc pens. I recently got the final piece. I say final, but I don't know, maybe in the future I may get another one. But for now, I finally got the final piece of my little Montblanc collection. And I'm going to show you what it is. First, I've got my little Montblanc leather pouch, 3-pen pouch, which has a nice little hook at the back, so you can hook it into your jacket or coat. It's not going to fall out or anything like that. Nice and secure. So in here, I've got my 3 Montblanc fountain pens. I have the 145 Classique, also known as the Chopin. I have my 149, also known as the Diplomat. And finally, I have my latest acquisition, which is my 146 Legrand. And here we are. A lot has been said about Montblanc fountain pens, and you know, I do get people who ask me, I do get friends who ask me and say, why would you buy a Montblanc? And the answer is simply because I like them. I mean, that said, I would never buy a Montblanc brand new. I mean, they are prohibitively expensive, brand new. Ridiculously so. A 149 where I live is $1,200, $1,300 brand new. I mean, I'm never going to drop that much on a pen ever. I don't care how nice it is. I would never do it. The only pen amongst 3 which is actually brand new is this one. And I got this, and the only reason this is brand new is because I got this as a gift. Anyway, these 2 are vintage. They're 1980s, made in West Germany. And I mean, one of the reasons why I love Montblanc, especially the Meisterstuck line, is because it's classic, it's clean, it's simple, it's elegant, it's lightweight, which I like because, you know, I hate heavy pens. I hate pens with loads of metal in them, with, like, you know, metal barrels and metal sections. It feels really heavy and chunky in my hand. It's really tiring when I write with them. I don't enjoy them. Whereas the Montblanc resin pens are nice and light. And so I'm just going to go through this basically with the assumption that you might be wanting to buy your first Montblanc, and you're trying to figure out whether you should, what you should look for, all that kind of stuff. So let's begin. So Montblanc pens are all either piston fillers or cartridge fillers. So I'll go through it and I'll show you what the difference is. So this is the 145, which is the Chopin, which is a cartridge converter fountain pen. So this can take cartridges or converters. This has a converter in it, and just going to fill it up here on camera very carefully with my very full bottle of Parker Quink Blue Black. So it's just as easy as putting it in, turning the piston, lifting it out, tapping it to get some of the excess ink off the nib. Then we want to wipe it away. Now some people don't like having to constantly pull apart their pens to fill them up, and so because of that they tend to go for pens with more inbuilt filling mechanisms. And for that we have the inbuilt piston mechanism, which is what most of Montblanc's larger pens have, apart from the 147, which is a double cartridge pen. So this is the 146, and this is a piston pen. So that means you turn this to fill the pen. So it goes in like so, like so. And we turn this. This forces the piston down and expels the air. Then, see if I can show that to you. You might be able to see the ink window there is nice and empty. So you put the pen back in, turn it the other way, it draws the piston back up and sucks ink into the pen. It's important to be firm but not aggressive, because you do not want to damage the piston mechanism. So that's that. And then you have the granddaddy of them all, the 149. Works in the same way. So again, you turn this to get the piston all the way down. Just going to do it over the bottle just in case. You go all the way down to the bottom until it stops. Don't force it. Then put it in. Then turn it the other way. Piston fillers are very common among European pens. So like Montblanc, Pelican, Visconti, they all have piston fill mechanisms. It's very simple, it's very compact. It holds a reasonable amount of ink. And so there we have it. Now, not all pens are made the same, so I will show you something else now that this bottle is a little less full. I can put the cap on safely. And here we have two other Montblanc pens. This is a pen given to me, and it's the Twist Action ballpoint pen. I actually need to get a new refill for this, so yeah, gonna have to sort that out. But yeah, ordinary Twist Action ballpoint goes in there. And then we have the Classique Rollerball, which is the partner to the 145. It's virtually the same size. I think the fountain pen is a little bit longer, not by much, 2-3 millimeters. But they're basically the same pen. Has a cap, and then in here you have the refill or cartridge, and this doesn't just sit inside the pen, it screws into it, so you have to actually unscrew it and take it out, and then when you want to put it back in, you have to screw it down and slide the barrel back on. Some people who get their Montblanc rollerballs or Montblanc ballpoints for the first time, they tend to forget this step, and then they wonder why they can't put the pen back together. It's because the refills don't just sit inside the pen, they screw into it. So you have to remember that step when you refill the pen. It's I haven't noticed that with any other major pen makers, but there you have it. Now, like I said earlier, only one of these 3 pens I actually bought brand new, which was the 145 Classique, which I am holding here. So I will put that away. And I will talk instead about the 2 pens which I bought second hand, which is the 146, which is this one here, and the much larger 149, which is possibly the most famous fountain pen in the world. And because it is the most famous fountain pen in the world, Montblancs are also the most faked brand of writing instruments ever made, far exceeding anything else. Cross, Parker, Schaefer, Waterman, Pelican, Omas, Visconti, none of those others come anywhere near. Just because none of the others really have the same sort of prestige as Montblanc does. I mean, it's over 100 years old. It's a very famous company. It makes beautiful stuff. I mean, some people say it's overpriced, but you can't deny that it is beautiful. So, like I said, I bought these 2 pens secondhand, pretty much as you see them here. So that means no boxes, no papers, no certificates, nothing at all. So, that being the case, how do I know that I did not buy 2 fake fountain pens? 2 fake Montblanc fountain pens. And believe me, they do fake these. They do fake these models. And so I'm going to go through what you need to look for to determine whether your pen is real or fake. Now, these are vintage Montblancs. Like I said, they were made in the 80s, which means they were made in West Germany. So, if we turn this around and we get out the loop and we have a look, we will see that on the back it says W Germany for West Germany. Now, there are certain things you need to know. Montblanc, one of the reasons why Montblanc pens cost so much is because the quality is very, very, very high. And basically, what I say is, if the quality isn't there, then it's not a Montblanc. Because Montblanc would never sell something that wasn't quality. So, to determine whether your pen is real or not, you have to know what are the signs of quality. What makes a Montblanc a Montblanc. And stuff like that is stuff like, for example, looking at the quality of the fit and finish, making sure that all the letters and numbers on the band are exacting and correct, and there are no flaws whatsoever. Because people who make fakes don't care about the details. They're not the ones with the reputation on the line. Montblanc is, so it has to take care of the details. Fraudsters and forgers won't. They don't care, because they have nothing at stake. They don't have a reputation to protect. Another thing to look for is to look at the nib. Now, Montblanc nibs are always made of gold. a Montblanc fountain pen without a gold nib does not exist. It has never been made. Now, Montblanc nibs are always 14 or 18 karat gold, as you can see here. Now, this 146 has a single tone yellow gold nib, which was a bit of a surprise for me, but I like it nonetheless. And gonna have a look at it. So, what you're looking for is consistency. Now, Montblanc nibs, all the beautiful detail, the 4810, the Montblanc M, the 14K, all that kind of stuff, all the designs on the nib, they're not engraved, they're punched, they're stamped on as one piece. Because engraving, there are variations. Montblanc doesn't want variations. If there are variations, then they can't have quality control. So, if you've ever seen a video of how Montblanc makes its pens, they have like a stamp, a punch, and when the nibs are formed, they punch the nibs and they press the design, all these little details into the gold. That's how it's done. So if you see a Montblanc pen, Montblanc fountain pen with an engraved nib, then it's not a Montblanc, because they don't engrave nibs, they punch them, they stamp them. Another way to determine whether a Montblanc is real or not, especially if you're buying a 146 or a 149, is to look for the ink window, which, like I said, is right here. And if you're buying it like online, secondhand or something, like over eBay or whatever, then ask the seller to show you the ink window. Because fake Montblancs do not have ink windows. They don't. Because it's an extra detail. And like I said, forgers never bother with the details. You have to look for them, you have to know what they are, you have to know what they look like. So I'll put that away. Another thing is that real Montblanc black precious resin is not actually black. A lot of people don't know this. It looks black to the naked eye. And sorry, just going to turn off the lights on my desk. There we go. But actually, it's not actually black. I'll show you what I mean. Just going to sort out something here. There we go. Here we have a torch and the cap, and you might be able to see it's not actually black. It's actually very, very, very dark red. It's like a maroon wine red. Only real Montblancs glow red like this. This is one of the best ways to determine whether your Montblanc is fake or not, because fakes can't do this, because the precious resin, the formula to make this plastic, is a trade secret. So if it doesn't glow red like this, it's not a Montblanc. And you should ask, if you buy this online, like if you buy a 149 off eBay and it has no box, no papers, no nothing, just the pen, you should ask the seller to show you the red glow like this. If they don't show you the glow, then it's not real, and you should run away and buy your pen from someone else. Another thing to look for on Montblanc pens is for the serial number. And this is rather important, because old Montblanc pens, like these two, because these were made in the 80s, they don't have serial numbers. Serial numbers only came in at about 1990, 1991. So if you buy a pen that, basically if you buy a Cold War era Montblanc, there will be no serial number. It will have W Germany, West Germany, up here, where the serial number should be. But if you buy a, for all intents and purposes, modern Montblanc, then it will have a serial number, and it'll be right up here. So I'll get this out, and you can see, just try and focus it right there, and you can see the serial number. Every Montblanc made today, anyway, and within the last 30 years, give or take, should have one of these. And if it doesn't, it's a fake. So don't buy it. Another way to determine whether a Montblanc is genuine or not, if you buy it secondhand, is to look at the price. Real Montblancs are very, very, very expensive. This retail is about $700 or $800. This one is about $950, and this one, the 149, is about $1,300 where I live. And like in America, it's they're all about that price. They're all about between $500 to about $900 to $1,200, depending on what your currency is. But they are all very, very expensive. So if you find someone who's selling you a Montblanc, whatever it is, for under, say, $200, $250, then it isn't real. I paid about $250 for this, and the same for this. Same for this one, sorry. And the only reason I was able to do that was because they were without boxes, without papers, and I got them from, well, this one I got from a friend, so he gave me a good deal on it. This one I got at auction, so I got really lucky. But really, you would be paying $200, $300, $400, $500. So if you're paying under about $250, $200, it isn't real, because no one would ever sell a Montblanc, a real Montblanc, that cheaply. Not unless they have loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of fakes lying around, because that's the only way they'll do it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this surprisingly lengthy video, but yeah, I had a lot of fun making it. And as ever, if you have comments, questions, yada yada yada, please put them down in the comments section below. I love reading them and I love responding to them. If you want to know more about how to spot a fake Montblanc Meisterstuck 149 or 146, then I do have an article about that in my blog, and I'll leave a link to that and you can read through it. It goes into a lot more detail than what I have here, and I hope you'll enjoy it, and thank you for watching.